In today's show, macro investor Raoul Pal on why Bitcoin is literally the biggest story he's ever seen and why it may hit $1 million, topping gold's market cap. He just revealed this in this exclusive interview with Yahoo Finance. Pal has stated repeatedly that Bitcoin's price can go to $1 million, becoming a $10 trillion asset class and possibly surpassing the gold market. I'll be giving you all the highlights right here in today's show. Also in today's episode, Bitcoin is the best treasury reserve asset humanity's ever had. You can easily lose up to 90% of your fiat savings to inflation alone in 100 years, but that could never happen with Bitcoin. MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor pointed out an excellent way to evaluate any investment is to take 100 million and move it forward 100 years and ask the question, what happens if I had 100 million worth of currency in any of the largest cities of the world in the year 1900 and I went forward 100 years and I put the money into the best bank in the city? I now have two types of risks: counterparty risk and inflation risk. Regarding counterparty risk, every major bank in every major city around the world failed in 100 years. And this is a 90% probability you lose everything. He's right, and this is coming from a man whose company just profited over $100 million in the past 60 days as a result of their Bitcoin investment. Also in today's episode, Bitcoin's monthly candle closes above 13,000 for the first time since 2017. That's right, as Plan B pointed out, October's close, $13,816, the highest red dot to date. Bitcoin stock to flow on track. And if you're not familiar with the stock to flow, it does predict a $100,000 Bitcoin price by the end of next year. Also in today's show, we'll be taking a look at the overall crypto market. As you can see, Bitcoin and most of the major altcoins are back in the red. But where's the Bitcoin price likely to go from here? Find out all this plus so much more in today's show. Here at Crypto News Alerts, I drop a brand new episode every single day, so be sure to smash that subscribe button, that's right, and turn on all notifications to receive daily, premium Crypto News Alerts every single day, including weekends, just like this. And before I kick off today's show, if interested in tapping into OPM, leveraging other people's money to grow your wealth and crypto portfolio, then smash that link right below this video in the description. All right, welcome back to another episode of Crypto News Alerts. I'm your host, JV, and let's kick it off by diving into today's top story of the day. Macro investor Raoul Pal on why Bitcoin is literally the biggest story he's ever seen and why it may hit $1 million, topping gold's market cap. He reveals this in his latest interview with Yahoo Finance, which I'll include the resource in the show notes below the video in the description. Now for some of the highlights. Influential investor Raoul Pal says the best trade he's ever found is Bitcoin, which he described as a call option on the future and the world's most pristine reserve asset. That's right. In a recent interview on Yahoo Finance, Pal said that the central bank's move towards digital currencies is literally the biggest story in his career. Investors like Pal don't want to compete against central banks, but aim to create a digital world, Pal said, underscoring that despite big reservations, policymakers don't appear to want to ban crypto completely. They understand that technology is out of the bottle. The genie is out of the bottle, the investor said. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not going away. It's too small to matter still. Despite the crypto's notorious head-spinning volatility, the growing association with scams, Pal declared flatly that Bitcoin and crypto is here to stay. Last week, PayPal launched its own service to buy, sell, and hold digital currency. Now, this is a pretty big deal considering PayPal has over 300 million users around the world. This can help usher in adoption, to say the least. Raoul Pal, a former Goldman Sachs exec, previously co-managed GLG's Global Macro Fund, one of the world's largest, since retiring back in 2004, and he now authors a letter called The Global Macro Investor, GMI, which is read by some of the most influential hedge funds, asset managers, and sovereign wealth funds. If you're not following Raoul Pal on crypto Twitter, be sure to do so. He's also the founder of the Real Vision Television, an online subscription media company specializing in long-form investor interviews, where he recently shared a 35-minute video detailing his crypto thesis. All right, now for the fun part. Pal has stated repeatedly that the Bitcoin price can go to $1 million, becoming a $10 trillion asset class and possibly surpassing the gold market cap, which is currently at about $9 trillion. In the last year, Bitcoin's price has surged more than 42% to last trade currently above 13,500. We just touched 14,000 yesterday, which marks one of the highest monthly closes in Bitcoin Bitcoin history, the highest one since 2017. And in the last month, the digital currency has jumped more than 22%. That's right, year to date, Bitcoin is up approximately 100%, making it the greatest performing major asset class in the world. With a market cap of around 240 billion, Bitcoin is approximately the size of a large mid-cap S&P 500 index fund, Powell pointed out. As it moves to 500 billion or $1 trillion, suddenly it's a real estate class and sucks in more money. One of the drivers will be the wall of institutional money coming. That's right, it becomes a Soros-style reflective loop where we've got macro story backing it up, said Powell, referring to George Soros, the speculative investor once credited with breaking the Bank of England in a bet against the British pound. We've got the flow of funds backing it up, and then we've got the move, which the central banks are driving. It's literally the biggest story I've seen. Powell said what it means is more printing of currency. That's not just the US, it's basically every single country on earth is doing the same thing. According to Powell, the macro story supporting his thesis is that the economy is about to enter a despair phase, which is part of his view that recessions will unfold in 3 distinct phases, which accumulates in a prolonged period of insolvency. Growth, he said, is likely to remain negative for longer than people expect, and that's going to mean that kind of corporate cash flows, household cash flows are quite impaired, and there's going to be a rise of insolvencies, bankruptcies, and that kind of thing against a backdrop of what Powell calls a dead patch and lacking fiscal stimulus in the US and Europe, economic data rolling over in Europe, and a rise in the coronavirus cases. The only answer we have is either more monetary or more fiscal stimulus. And the more that money printer go, the better it is for crypto, especially the king, Bitcoin. Bottom line, in Powell's view, Bitcoin plays a role as the world's most pristine reserve asset for individuals, corporations, and pension funds. He goes on to share, it's an incredible asset. It's the only one with limited supply with growing demand. It's an extraordinary thing, he said. So let me know if you agree with his $1 million Bitcoin price prediction. Do you feel the Bitcoin market cap will eventually flip on the $9 trillion gold market cap? And at that time, where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to be? $1 million or more or less? Drop me a comment right down below. And before I break down our next story of the day, Bitcoin is the best treasury reserve asset humanity's ever had. First, let's take a look at the overall crypto market. We can see Bitcoin down 1%, trading just above 13,600. We have Ethereum down 1%, trading at $387. XRP down 1.7%, trading below 24 cents. Missed Litecoin down 2%, trading below $55. And Chainlink down 1.7%, trading at $11.11. So yeah, Bitcoin just touched 14,000 yesterday before consolidating to where we're currently at. And as you can see, there is a small retracement in the crypto market. All right, now let's break down our next story of the day. At this time, Bitcoin is locked up in long-term holdings by institutional investors. According to the data, 13 entities have amassed close to 600,000 Bitcoin. That's about 2.85% of all the Bitcoins and worth approximately $6.9 billion. The list includes MicroStrategy at the top with close to 38,250 BTC, worth approximately $450 million. The second on the list is Galaxy Digital Holdings with 16,651 Bitcoin, worth about $200 million. The third, with 4,709 Bitcoin, is the payment company Square, founded by Twitter's CEO Jack Dorsey. And separately, some companies help their clients invest into Bitcoin. One such company is Grayscale Investments through its Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which holds approximately 450,000 BTC. With that stated, the amount of Bitcoin that publicly traded companies hold as a reserve is a tiny fraction of the corporate treasuries around the world. Indeed, the actual amount of cash held in reserves is in the trillions of US dollars. But consider this, 9 companies in the S&P 500 are sitting on close to $600 billion in cash and short-term investments. And if just 5% or 30 billion of that amount is converted into the king of all crypto, the Bitcoin price could easily increase 5-fold, and a 5-fold Bitcoin price from here would put the Bitcoin price well above $50,000. And of course, there's the question, where to place Bitcoin in a company investment portfolio? The most likely category is alternative investment. The need to strike a balance between traditional and alternative investments might reduce the appetite that the market might have for cryptocurrency. Nevertheless, the potential demand is still huge. You can say that again, as mentioned in the recent report by Fidelity, the alternative investment market grew to $13.4 trillion by the end of 2018, and very little of it was in Bitcoin. It might take converting as little as 5% of that to see the Bitcoin price moon. That's right, some investment firms have chosen to create entirely separate holding companies for Bitcoin, as well as other crypto assets. For example, Stone Ridge launched the New York Digital Investment Group, which today has over $1 billion worth of crypto. Now, what drives this movement? And to better understand this phenomenon, let's take a look at what Michael Saylor, the CEO and founder of MicroStrategy, had to share. An excellent way to evaluate any investment is to take 100 million and move it forward 100 years and ask the question, what happens if I had 100 million worth of a currency in any of the largest cities of the world in the year 1900, and I went forward for 100 years and I put the money into the best bank in the city? I have two types of risks: counterparty risks and inflation risks. Regarding counterparty risks, every major bank in every major city around the world failed in 100 years, and that is a 90% probability you lose everything. He ain't telling no lies. Now, of course, the most obvious weakness to spot when considering the performance of any reserve asset in 100 years is inflation. Out of all the asset types, fiat currency experiences the most inflation over time. That's a fact. For example, what $5 could buy back in the 1920s is far more than what it can right now in 2020. According to a website that collects and processes government data for the benefit of the public, the US dollar loses close to 2% of its purchasing power every single year. That's pretty crazy. Now, what about Bitcoin? As for now, BTC has no counterparty risk. In other words, we don't have to worry that the actions of a third party are going to lead to a significant loss of the asset's value. It's also protected from risks that might come from regulation or extreme change in government policy. The holders of Bitcoin are always going to be in complete control of it. That's right. As a peer-to-peer network, the Bitcoin platform gives holders and hodlers of the asset a level of control that bypasses regulation or the use of state force. Meanwhile, we're almost assured that its value is going to continue growing over the years as the supply is determined and the emission rate of new units halves every 4 years. Now, the autonomy and increasing scarcity of Bitcoin is most likely going to drive its value up over time, and it could come as no surprise in 100 years to see its price considerably higher than where it is today. So where do you feel the Bitcoin price will likely be in 100 years? Drop me a comment right down below. And before I break down our next story of the day and we do some Bitcoin technical analysis, first let's take a look at the overall crypto market cap, sitting at 400 billion even, with 68 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, and current BTC dominance is 63.6% according to CoinMarketCap. And now checking out the top gainers within the top 100, we have Loopring up 12%, trading at 14.5 cents. Ocean Protocol up almost 10%, trading at 46 cents. Filecoin up 5%, trading just below $31. OMG Network up about 5%, trading at $3.08. And OKB up 4.5%, trading at $4.49. And now checking out the biggest losers within the top 100, we have ABBC coin down almost 8%, trading just below 35 cents. Synthetics Network token down 7.5%, trading at $2.83. YFI down 7.5%, trading just above 10,100. And Hedge Trade down 6%, trading at 56 cents. Now, out of this list of the biggest gainers and losers, which altcoins in particular are you most bullish on? Drop me a comment right down below. And now checking out the Binance margins, we can see the bears are back in control, but barely, leading with 50.47% shorts versus 49.53% longs. Are you currently bullish or bearish on the king of all crypto? Holla at your boy. And now checking out one of my favorite indicators is the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Shows we're currently rated a 72 in greed, yesterday a 73 in greed, and last week a 76 in extreme greed, and last month a 41 in fear. And if you're not familiar with the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, extreme fear can be a sign investors are too worried. That can be a great buying opportunity, aka BTFD, buy that freaking dip. And when investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. All right, and before I break down our final story of the day, the Bitcoin monthly candle closes above 13,000 for the first time since 2017, and I do some Bitcoin technical analysis. First, I want to remind you to smash that show more button right below this video in the description for a detailed analysis of what's going on in the market. This goes for all 580 plus videos right here on my channel. I also have some very helpful resources for you to plug into, including the blog to my podcast, which could be found at cryptonewsyes.com. Also, be sure to smash that subscribe button right below this video to help support the channel. If you're tuning in or listening on a different platform outside of YouTube, the direct YouTube link is cryptonewsalerts.net. You can also find us on all the major podcasting platforms, from Spotify, the home of the Joe Rogan Experience, to Apple's iTunes. You'll find the links here in the description. You can also follow me on Twitter to receive daily crypto news alerts. My Twitter handle is crypto news yes. And for those of you active on Facebook as I am, I do have a private crypto Facebook group entitled Crypto Alchemy. To join it, click this link, request to join. I'll be sure to plug you in. And for those of you active on Telegram, I do have a private crypto Telegram chat. To join it, click this link. You'll automatically be added, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you personally on the inside. All right, now let's break down our final story of the day. And before I do, let's just share this quick tweet from Plan B, the creator of the stock to flow model, who pointed out October's close was at $13,816, which is the highest red dot to date, which suggests that the stock to flow model is on track. If you're not familiar with the infamous stock to flow, it does predict a $100,000 Bitcoin price by the end of next year, as well as a $288,000 Bitcoin price medium average by the year 2024. The monthly candle of Bitcoin for October has closed above 13,000 for the first time since December of 2017. It comes after both the daily and weekly candles all closed above the crucial resistance level. Traders often use the monthly log chart to evaluate the long-term and macro trend of an asset. On a monthly chart, each candle represents a whole month of trading activity. As such, a Bitcoin monthly log chart typically covers many years of trading activity. The monthly chart, as you can see right here in your screen, is considered to be one of the main high time frame charts alongside the weekly chart. A clear breakout above an important level like 13,000 on the monthly chart indicates a technical breakout. That's right, a $13,000 breakout means $20,000 all-time high is near. As ARK Invest Kathy Wood pointed out, she emphasized the importance of the $13,000 level. Wood, who manages $11 billion in assets under management at ARK Invest, said there's little resistance between 13,000 and 20,000. Max Kaiser has also pointed out that there's nothing but air between 14,000 and $20,000. The probability to rise to a new record high could get higher. She said the following: that 13,000 level is important because if we were to get through that, then in technical terms, there would be very little resistance and we would probably be on our way back to the peaks we saw in late 2017, so around 20,000. Now, we're not sure if that's going to happen. We can stay in a new trading range just at a little bit of a higher level than a recent 6 to 10. Maybe we're in the $10,000 to $13,000 range. Nonetheless, a breakout. So there you have it. Although the price of Bitcoin hit 20,000 in 2017 and 13,970 in 2019, the monthly candle never closed above 13,000. This is because Bitcoin saw sharp rejections during both peaks, which then rattled the market. Now, the recent rally is particularly optimistic because it has shown a more sustainable staircase-like uptrend. As the price rose, it established clear support levels, making the rally more stable. That's right, the market is much more mature right now than it was back in 2017. So what do traders expect in the near term? Great question, right? In the immediate future, traders are readying for a minor pullback. Technically, the monthly chart of Bitcoin closed significantly higher above key short-term moving averages. A pseudonymous trader known as Loma said Bitcoin would likely drop to around 13,100 and resume the rally. The 5-day moving average on the Bitcoin monthly chart is found at $12,256, so a drop to the low 13,000s would be healthy for the rally. Loma wrote here on crypto Twitter, "The game plan is we're going to nuke Bitcoin to 12,900 to 13,100, which is just enough for shorts to pile on, expecting 12,000 to 12,004 retests, and then we use them as nuclear fuel to drop the biggest bear nuka candle upwards, leaving shorts in liquidation land." So there you have it. Similarly, Michael van de Poppe, a full-time trader at the Amsterdam Stock Exchange, said a drop to the sub 12,000 could also occur. A Bitcoin pullback entering November would place even more pressure on the altcoin market. Bitcoin has sucked most of the volume from the crypto market, which means that if Bitcoin goes down, the selling pressure on altcoins would likely intensify. So there you have it. And now for a quick recap of what I covered with you here in today's show. Macro investor Raoul Pal on why Bitcoin is literally the biggest story he's ever seen, and says Bitcoin may hit 1 million, topping gold's market cap. That's right, he points out repeatedly that Bitcoin's price can get to 1 million, becoming a $10 trillion asset class, possibly surpassing the gold market cap, which currently sits at approximately 9 trillion. Also in today's show, I pointed out that Bitcoin is the best treasury reserve asset humanity's ever had. And we also did some Bitcoin technical analysis. And as I pointed out from Plan B, October closed at $13,816, signifying the highest red dot to date, which ultimately means that the Bitcoin stock to flow model is on track for a $100,000 Bitcoin price by the end of next year. So where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go from here? Drop me a comment right down below. Well, that's going to conclude today's show. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and journeying along with me inside this incredible crypto matrix. If you gain value out of today's show, be sure to smash that subscribe button, that's right, and turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. And real quick before I go, if interested in tapping into OPM, leveraging other people's money to grow your wealth and crypto portfolio, then smash that link right below this video in the description and register for this free system entitled OPM Wealth. You'll be glad you did, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episode. Peace.